when you make it too polished, people don't really get to know you.
Yeah.
You really want to make it authentic. Like if you're in social media, don't just always post about, you're selling home, buying home. People need to know your life. People need to know, like, do you enjoy tennis? Do you go play golf? Do you like to go swimming? Like they want to know you as a real person. And then also like don't the other thing I challenge, like don't filter yourself out to like make it like you look perfect, right? People out there want to see who you.
Welcome everybody to Mastering Luxury with Sandra today. And I have the amazing Simon with us today. Simon is out of Short Hills, New Jersey, and a great luxury agent for EXP, and he runs the Lux Life Luxury Group. So welcome, Simon.
Thank you for having me, Sandra.
So glad that you made it. I always like to share how I chose the people that I chose. And Simon and I, we go way back. We go way back.
Way back. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think we originally met at a big event at one of the brokerage events. And then Simon, he hosts his own luxury event every once or twice a year. He puts on a great event, inviting all the local agents to come in and learn from top agents. He brings agents in from around the country. And I have gone 3 times, I think, and been part of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely one of my favorite events to go to and to be part of. And I learn a lot. I speak, but I also learn so much from all the people that you invite. So thanks for putting that together.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I always love to do that. That's one of my favorite events to put together.
So why don't we just jump right into that? Just talk a little bit about that and share with everybody, like, what is the thought process in doing an event for local agents in your area? I mean, those are basically your competitors.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, there's enough business everywhere. So, we all have different clientele. We can help each other. The mind of putting behind this is that we call it Lux Site Mastermind. And it really is to bring Asian around the country who's really doing amazing what they do and their superpower, and having local Asian to able to learn and collaborate. And also at the same time, having the speaker able to collaborate with each other too, because there's like, I'm always learning something new. Like, if you can go to event and really learn 3 things and put it into, apply it into your business, then really is worth it. One of the reasons we did for the local agents that we don't have that, collaborations within different brokerages, right? So, and yes, we do compete with each other, but at the same time, it is a relationship. Like we have to build relationship with other agents, especially when you go into, where we are, we're still at multiple office situation, right? So if you don't have a relationship and don't know the person you're dealing with, you just an offer, right? So, but you want to able to pick up the phone and talk to the person, say, hey, the last time I saw you, it was like great talking to you, catching up with you. By the way, I have this amazing offer and I really want to help able to, make this work. Please let me know how our office stand, or like, how, what can we do to secure this one for a client? Like anything that can help your client. Our relationship is just not with our client, buyer, sellers, or investor. Our relationship really is important with the agent on the other side. And by building relationship, by, having this, you get to meet 150 agent around the, different area they serve. And you never know that, where you have your next buyer or seller and how it can help them. Because we service over 50 towns. So we have a wide range of where we go. We go from Hoboken down to the shore. So that's like, we have different, agent that we work with that we really love to work with because we know that we can get things done together.
Right. I love that. And the more you know somebody, the more they want to work with you, right? We like to work with people we know, like, and trust, whether they're our clients or agents, right? Relationships matter in everything that we do. It's interesting. I've been doing this podcast for a long time now, and that seems to be one of the biggest themes I'm hearing recently is about the relationships with the agents. I feel like the industry is finally kind of taking a little bit of a turn from us being competitors to us being collaborators. And the agents that are at the forefront of it are really understanding what the relationship means.
Absolutely. It really doesn't matter what brokerages you work for. end of the day, you want to make sure you're helping your client to achieve a goal, right? And by having a relationship, not just with your client, but also with the listing agent or the buy agent, then you can make sure things go the way it needs to. There's no reason to have any like confrontationals. It's all, you know what, if you can get this done for my client, that's amazing. And also, like, for home inspection, like, again, if you have a relationship, you can talk things out, right? Same thing like before a walkthrough or home like appraisal contingency, or to that, if there's a mortgage contingency, if it's a cash offer, great. It's like proof of fund. So those are conversations you need to be able to have. You brought out something really important. It's people who like you and trust you, not just your client, but also the agent too. Because if the agent who's gonna like you and trust you, you have a better chance that when they present the offers, if it's a multiple offer situation, there's 3, 5, 10 offers, and they can say, hey, by the way, Mr. Mrs. Seller, that this agent is amazing, and I worked with them before, and we know it's gonna get done. Like, sometimes the highest offer may not be the best offer, because if someone could be from, like, 2 hours away, they happen to get this lead, they comes in with a really, really strong offer, and then, like, your client accept it, and it's like next day they got cold feet and they move. Then you're like, okay, let's go to second offer, right? So your job is to make sure you have all those relationships and able to know all those people to get the best advice for your client. So it's definitely, you have to make sure you use that skill throughout the whole process.
Absolutely. And you want to work with somebody that you know is going to be cooperative. And the only way to know that is to have either worked with them in the past or have a relationship with them outside of a transaction, which is part of what you're building with your amazing luxury event that you do every year.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. It's just really key to have the cooperations. Everyone's in different market, and also sometimes you may able to learn something from the other agent that you may not be aware of. Sometimes you may not do a home that have septic or the wells, like, you may not be familiar, and she can share some more information. Or you may not know something that, hey, this is actually like, this home is actually a zone for like a different school district that you may not aware of. I mean, you should know all those as a local specialist, especially in the luxury market. But at the same time, sometimes, like, there's always something to learn. Like, I think everyone needs to know that you need to be able to in a learning base. Today is a skill business as well. Experience count, but also be coachable. Like,
Mm.
you have to be able to, like, continue learning from others. And yeah, Sandra and I, we both go back, way back. We've been in the business a long time, but we continue going to learn different things, go to different events, and able to collaborate, and also but learn from other, and able to have coach to coach you to learn different skill, right? As the market changes, like the last 2 years, the market has changed a lot, right?
Mhm.
So with all different, like, law comes out, and New Jersey have different law that came out. So you have to really pivot and adapt and able to continue learning new skill, learning new conversation. And by having all this relationship, you can actually, to have those conversations.
Yeah, and then you're not so afraid to ask a question. We don't know everything. So we might ask the co-agent a question, and the way they respond is going to really lay the groundwork for the way the relationship's going to go, the way the transaction's going to go. So when you come from a place of caring and concern and wanting to get to the end rather than, taking sides or what have you, you'll get to where you want to be much better.
Absolutely. The goal is that able to for us to get to meeting of the minds, and then also, you're there to really be a mediator, to making sure things get done smoothly and get to the end of the closing table. Like, any time between that time, if there's any, no cooperation, then that's when something could happen. Like, our goal is to put a transaction together, not to have them fall apart. And also, at the same time, as a luxury agent, you want to make sure that, you are there to service your client at the same time.
Absolutely. And Simon, how do you start a transaction like with somebody you don't know? How do you go into that transaction to develop that relationship and that teamwork where you're working together?
Asking a lot of questions. It's just like how you work with buyer and seller. You have to ask all the important questions, and just making sure you get to know them. Like, and it's someone that you don't know, it's just say, you know what, thank you so much for presenting an offer. I just want to get to know you a little bit more. It's just so like, how long you've been doing this, and you can definitely search certain things like what they do, and just get to are you familiar with the town? Do certain question that you want to ask, and just making sure that they have the idea that they know, it's like, yes, I know this is where it is, and making sure that, hey, just want to make sure your client know this could be, this is a luxury home located in the historical district, and are you aware of that? To making sure your clients know that, like, you want to help them to make sure that you don't want to get the deal to fall through in the middle, because all of a sudden they can say, wait a second, I didn't know this was in the historical district, and my client wanted to just change everything over, and I didn't know that I need to get approval, right? So you want to avoid those steps. You want to know everything as much as you can upfront, and you want the agent to know as much as possible also, because it's gonna make the transaction much easier. So he or she can talk to the client, and just making sure they understand, for instance, with his historic, say, hey, by the way, just want to make sure you understand you're buying home. This is a beautiful home. This area is in historical, and that if you want to do any work, make sure we do a due diligence, what you can do, right? So, and sometimes people miss that step, right? And sometimes also with an agent that I don't know, and I'll find a little bit more about, and say, I just want to make sure when we present an offer that you have your proof of funds, and, to making sure that you know your client. Because listen, there's time that I have agents submit proof of fund, they don't know who they are,
Yeah.
and then I happen to call. What I do also, just so you know, now I actually call when we submit proof of fund to me. I should call if it's a brokerage, or I call that brokerage account person who's in charge of that. Or if we get a letter from someone say, so and so have XYZ, funding that's available for closing, I'll make sure I call that person to verify it. Don't take that letter just for granted. You need to go that extra step to make sure there's no mishap, because things that happen that all of a sudden, like, this person doesn't work there, or this is a letter that's not really there. So like that's where you come in as a luxury agent. You need to think really 3 step ahead, and just think of things that could protect your client as well.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes we get so busy that we kind of shortchange those steps. And it seems like the times that we do that are the times that we really needed to make the phone call and investigate. Because there's just so many things that can go wrong out there. And we take it for granted that what we're getting is legitimate. And at the end of the day, it's not always.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially you're also dealing with high net worth individuals, right? So you are there to protect their assets that they have, their investment. So you want to make sure you're guiding them every single step, that you think of things before they think of. So then when they talk to you, it's like, oh, I already think of that step for you. I already took care of it. No worry. That's what I'm here for, right? So that's when that client's gonna say, you know what, I'm so glad I'm with you. I'm working with you. You're the best. And the reason you do all this, because you know what, in our business is all about referrals too, right? So if you do amazing job, you go through closing table, it's not a transaction base. Like, luxury market is not transaction. You cannot say, hey, I'm gonna close this client on $5 million homes, I'm done with them, I'm not gonna talk to them. That is a no-no. That you have to continue on that relationship and build on that, because that person is get probably able to refer you many clients to many more to come. We have worked with clients who have done business 5 or 6 transaction, because of being there and staying in touch with them.
And making sure that everything goes smoothly, regardless of if the agent on the other side is brand new or experienced. So it sounds to me like you're kind of taking them under your wing and you're doing a little extra. And you're okay with that. You're okay with doing a little extra, even though you're not getting paid extra. But at the end of the day, you want a smooth transaction that everybody walks away happy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Listen, we all started somewhere, right? We all didn't become an experienced agent. They might just happen to land having this person, or having a friend who could buy a $3 million, $5 million homes or higher. And if they not experienced it, you want to guide them. You want to make sure that the transaction happen for
Mhm.
your client too, right? So don't think of as looking at doing extra work. You are there to making sure that this is transaction wise, everything's done smoothly, and you're creating relationship, that making sure you can talk. Communication is the key, right? So if you can't communicate with the other side, it's gonna be really hard, like, or the attorney. So you can't talk to the attorney, then you have to be able to talk to the agent. So you
Mhm.
have to make sure you have that open communications, again, that go back to relationship, right?
And really understanding where they're coming from, what do they know, what don't they know, and then you can fill in the gaps for them. But again, coming from a place of caring.
Absolutely. That's always the case. That always come from caring to, like, because you want people, you want to work with people who like you and trust you. So because you might do this one transaction, and you might see them again, another time 6 months down the road. So as you get to know people, you know how they work. So then you know how to work with them as well. Not
Right,
everyone works the same way, so.
right. And if you make it an easy transaction for the other agent versus giving them a hard time because they don't know enough, or getting them upset over things, when they have the listing next time and you make an offer, they probably will weigh heavier on somebody else's offer versus yours. So it's not just about this transaction. And that's what I think a lot of agents have a hard time remembering. It's not one, especially, we live in a certain area. We're not moving. We're not changing locations. So we're going to be working in the same area over and over. So we have to be able to get along, and people make decisions based on their history. And if you didn't have a good experience with somebody, they're probably not going to look towards your offer on the next one.
It's so funny you say that, because this is just happening to me right now. I have a listing that's new construction, that's in the $4+ million. We have a buy came through. Didn't know too much about new construction, so I was there to kind of walk through the process and get things done, and then we got it under contract. That thing's right now going very smoothly, and things go done, and turn around, like, the agents having in this listing that I'm having a buyer that
Mhm.
going for it, right? So then you have that relation. Once you work that relationship, have open communications, and the next step is like, hey, by the way, I'm going to submit an offer. And just letting you know that, we're doing everything we can, think outside the box to get this home for my client. Please look at it. Let me know, there's anything else I can do. How can I make it work, right? There's time that, you might get some hint, and then you can actually go back to your client and say, listen, we might want to consider doing this if they ask us, right?
Mhm.
So again, building that relationship, you never know who you go work with. Well, like, and never judge someone who comes in and at an open house. If they come in sweatpants and baseball cap, you work the same way as someone wearing a suit coming in to look at your open house, because they probably have more money than you and I combined together.
Right. Right. They don't have to put
Right.
on airs. They're comfortable with who
No.
they are, and they
Yeah.
don't need to show off. No, that's a good
Yeah.
point, because a lot of times we do tend to judge people when they walk in the door, right? Based on their clothes, their appearance, maybe the way they talk. And they may have, I had one client who I had no idea, he sold a $200 million business that I would never have thought that that's where he would be at. And he ended up being, $20 million worth of transactions. And if I had looked at him any differently than anybody else, I wouldn't have got the deals.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, you never know who they know, right? They
Yeah.
could belong to a country club, or that know other people that they can recommend you to sell or to buy a home. So again, like, you have to really kind of continue always cultivating and building relationship and nurturing people that who can actually your sphere of influence. You might know them really well. They might not immediately do business with you, but it's people who they know that could do business with you at the
Hmm.
same time. So, not just building a relationship with people who like you and trust you, but also you building relationship with people who you may not know at a time right now,
Right.
and that you can actually get referral from that because of your SOI, that you can build that relationship.
Right. Right. It's going to level 2 and level 3 people not just the immediate people that you know, but who they know. Yeah. And always thinking about that. I know you do a lot of great events. Like you're so relational. And I love that about you. And it's funny, you do a lot of social media, but you're very, I'm going to say just down to earth. You're this great, amazing luxury agent. But what you post on social media, it's not like super polished or, over processed. You're doing little videos of yourself, your clients, your kids. Like you do a really nice job of making us feel like we know you, even if we don't know you, right? Like I know a lot about you just from what you post. So talk a little bit about that, about your events. Like one of my favorites that you do is your pumpkin event. I love it. Simon puts, I don't know how many hundreds of pumpkins on. It's actually at your house or
No, it's generally it would be at one of our client house sometime or could be a listing. So we've been doing for the last over more than 10 years. It's a probably one of our favorite is a pumpkin patch event that we have about 400 pumpkins, all different sizes from large to medium. And also we now bring in white pumpkins as well to
fun.
give a little accent color. And then we invite all SOI and A plus and A, clients and past client. And also if they have a friend, we have them invite a friend as well. So we can actually get to know them as well. And then we have a good time to come in and they pick up a pumpkin and we get to able to have conversation and talk to them. So we definitely are very relationship driven. And the other thing is that I think people need to know when you're on social media, when you make it too polished, people don't really get to know you.
Yeah.
You really want to make it authentic. Like they really want to see you, right? You don't want to be like if you're in social media, just don't just always post about, you're selling home, buying home. People need to know your life. People need to know like, do you enjoy tennis? Do you go play golf? Do you like to go swimming? Like they want to know you as a real person. And then
Mhm.
also like don't the other thing I actually is like don't filter yourself out to like make it like you look perfect, right? People out there want to see who you are. All
Mhm.
right. So, and just making sure that you're doing something that because this is what you love to do, and you showcase that your family, showcase that the things that your van. It's not say that you're gonna be always getting lots of business from it. You actually are branding yourself at the same time,
Yeah.
right? So you have to make sure that wherever you post, also wherever you put in writing, just think of it before you put it in. It is so important
Right.
because you never know. Someone can anything you put on social media can come back to haunt you 10 years later, right? So really think of it and be considerate. Just really post what you really are, who you are, and go that route for social media. So
Yeah, I think
and
you do
by the way,
great.
it's okay. It's okay to make mistake. People love to see you that making mistakes sometimes because that's you're a real person, right?
Yeah. Simon, do you put I believe the answer is that you put all of your in one place. You don't separate work and business or work and personal. Like you use your personal Facebook page is where you're putting business and personal. Like you're mixing it together.
We do, yes. So our personal page, we do mix it together. Most people, again, people who's like you and trust you, who's your friends, most likely is going to do the business with you first. So you want to kind of mix in all your personal and here once in a while you put in a post about real estate, right? We do have a business page and that's really more concentrated on a real estate business.
Mhm.
But on a personal page, I definitely recommend everyone just mix it because I can tell you there's people on a personal page, all they post is like real estate related and everything. And then I go down like, I'm not interested in you as a person.
Yeah.
Right. And you want to be interested. Like there's a lot of us out there. Right. And there's 1.3 million agents out there. And they say there's only certain percentage of the business. You want to be that person stand out. That you want to make sure that if you could do social media, do the way that makes you stand out.
Mm.
Don't do things that it's not really you. If you feel like that's not who you are, you're not comfortable with it, then don't post that. Right. So,
Right.
yeah.
And I think you have to also be really aware of not offending people. I think sometimes we have to take a little bit more of a neutral position because we don't want to offend people. I mean, we're in a service industry. So while we might have strong feelings inside about certain politics or what have you, we really got to keep that off of social media. Would you agree?
100%. I'm like very neutral on all those things that you just mentioned, and also learn when you post something public, and when something that you just want to post up for your friends, right? Because you also don't want to have comments come back to you and also be on there, because some of the comment you can change, right? So you really want to making sure that know how to have those conversations, and stay neutral as much as possible.
Hmm.
If you truly believe in something, you can definitely talk about that, I believe, privately
Yeah.
versus opening it to everyone to know where your position is, because you never know who's the next buyer, seller, investor you talk to. They may be totally opposite of what your beliefs in.
Yeah.
But that's okay. The end of the day, you're doing your job. Your job is high, being a professional to able to guide them through the process and get them to the goal where they need to go.
I totally agree with you. And I do the same thing. I have my stuff I have a business and a personal page, but the business page, that's like you said, we just feed it, but really everybody is on my personal page and we mix it in and people want to see it. They want to see that you're visiting your kids, that you're taking a trip to Africa or whatever it is. They want to see that kind of thing. And that way they can relate to you better.
Yeah, they want to live through your experience. That's another thing, right? If you're able to do trips that they may not able to go, I have so many clients like, oh my God, I lived through your trip that you went to this place, right? And it's like so great. And I'm like, yeah, whenever you go next, please make sure just let us know. We'll tell you all the place. So we go to one destination that we kind of really love a lot, which is Hawaii. And so all our friends know that we love Hawaii. And so when they go away, it's like, listen, we're going to this island. What should we do? Right. So like, and our daughter just happened to get into one of the school in Hawaii right now. So we'll be going back visiting a lot to Hawaii. So people are gonna see that. So and also other places. People like to live through your experience. So to give them that. Also, when you post something about your luxury home, sometime like make something special and then talk about not just the house and talk about just like, what, can you imagine yourself like using this open kitchens and all that? Like do something a little bit special for all your things that you do, because everyone's just posts like, here's my new listing coming up, right? But go the extra mile, goes the extra step, because it makes you stand out. And when you stand out, people remember. And again, social media move really fast, and you have to remember like how you post, when you post. And sometimes your post may not get a lot of likes, but look at your reels and story, because if you get the views, that's more important. You want to get views as much as possible, more than the like. View is just is key.
Simon, are you posting at specific times or is it just kind of as you have the ability to, or do you have a system for it?
We try to really do it very consciously. Now actually we have done something a little different, that we always try to post something, definitely daily. And also we try to do it, 2 to 3 times, but also we mix them between personal and real estate. We
Mm.
don't do all three real estate. We do maybe like, here's like, you could say, it could be like, hey, you know what? This is my dog, Phoebe, and have a jacket on, and so on and so forth. And next thing I can post, say, hey, I'm at this listing. This is what gets you at like $2.2 million, which is the next post coming up, which I'm going to be posting soon. Say, hey, this is what gets you at $2.2 million in this town. What do you think of it? Right?
Mhm.
You also want to get the engagement too. You want to really like always ask the questions like, hey, you know what? Super Bowl just happened, right? So between the Patriot and Seahawks, it's like, hey, you know what? What happened? It's like, what was your score? Like, my prediction is this. Like, what's your prediction? Like,
Mm.
get people involved into your comments, right? Again, stay away from the politics and religion stuff. But again, do things that you can get people. And also, like maybe you went to a house that has we posted, we have a house that have a sauna. It's like it was like 5 degrees outside, and I post them say, hey, I could really use the sauna right now
I saw
to warm
that.
up. Yeah, so like you kind of like you want to make things like engage with people. Use social media as engagement, as create experience, and people's gonna remember that stuff and just keep on doing it as much as you go. So yeah.
Yeah. So I want to go back to the pumpkin event.
Okay.
I'm
Go back to
hijacking us
pumpkin.
back to the pumpkin event because it just looks amazing. And I I want to come to your pumpkin event one of these years. It looks amazing on social media. Like it's inviting. I want to say, I want to work with Simon because he's fun. And look at all these pumpkins and people and the experience. Tell me a little bit about what you do at that event besides just giving pumpkins.
Yeah, so we also have like face painting. We also have like swag items, and we have sponsorship that could that sponsor for lunch or for the meal, like pizza or sandwiches. But at the same time, our whole teams is there, and we invite the people we talk to. But we don't always bring up real estate. It's really that time we really are able to catch up on relationship and just making sure that how you doing, how you liking your house, what's going on, how's your family. Oh my goodness, your boy. We have actually client becoming. I should look back. I was just happened to looking back at some of the photos. Like they were newborn. They were literally newborn, like 10 years ago. And then I see like they came the last one. They're like teenagers now. I'm like, I'm ready to actually, I'm going to send them this picture. I was like, I can't believe we know each other for more than 10 years. Look at this picture and look at now, right? So like, you kind of like, wow, people are like, wow, I can't believe you know each other for so long. And then you talk about how you like taking a trip. Like we really use we're really big on using the FORD model to when we have the conversation to talk about family, occupation, recreations, and dreams. And when we go to those events, we utilize that. We might not ask all those questions, but we definitely kind of like sprinkle those in and having conversation. And every time we always somehow real estate always come out.
Right. But
It just
you're not
happened.
starting the
It's not like you
conversation with
yeah,
that.
you don't start with the conversation that way, but always somehow get to that conversation, say, "Oh, I'm wondering how much my house is worth." I'll say, "You know what? I'm thinking about like buying a second investment property." I'm like, "You know what? The kids that's just finishing high school and they could be empty nest next year." It's like you can actually say, like, "What's your plan? Like, are you planning to stay in the area?" Right? That's another like. There's so many questions. It's just really key to asking the right question and asking at the right time also.
Mhm.
Everything is timing based.
Right.
So we really we have about 250 people come, sometime more, and we do it. That's one of the events. So we do a lot of events. Also, we do events throughout the year, but we really do a lot of events from September, October, November, December, because we are building a pipeline for the following year,
Mm.
right? So that's one of the reasons we do it so much, because lots of people like tend to slow down. Like, people tend to slow down the holidays, like people stop thinking about things. We continue on, right? So from September, we have the event, and then October, and then we have November, and then December. So we always have a touch point. It could be a drop off touch point, or it could be something that could come to our office place to pick up something, or it could be somewhere else that they event together. So we really think of that. So we do about, I would say, 8 to 9 events a year.
Wow, that's a lot of events. Do you
Yeah.
have an event planner that does that for you or
No, well, we used to have one because like when we first started things, but now we have a playbook. So we actually have a playbook that say it's like, let's say, pumpkin patch. Like, okay, pumpkin patch, this is how we have to do it. How many weeks beforehand we need to order the pumpkins? When do we need to start sending out the invites? When we need to orders and when we need to sponsor. All those are in a playbook, so we know what to do. So
Mhm.
like every year we come back to the same playbook, and it's pretty much now like, smooth running, because we have like, if we have anything we need to tweak, we write it down the next day and say, oh, make sure we have this for next year.
Mhm.
Right. So
Mhm.
we're really conscious about that. And some event, again, not all events is for everybody. So we tend to do some that's really geared toward kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do things for family. Sometimes we just do for adults. So sometimes because like adult want to have a night out. So we send that early in the beginning, say, hey, by the way, we want to make sure you can get your sitters so
Uh-huh.
you can come join us at this event. Right. So a lot of times we do save the date earlier
Yep.
for when it's an adult event. So they have enough time to look for a sitter.
And
So
it's smart to say that. If you actually put that in the invitation, it reminds them to look for it now, and it indicates, "Please don't bring your kids," without
right,
saying, "Please don't bring your
right.
kids." That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
And sometimes the event's not for everybody. Sometimes even smaller scale. You can even do event that's for like 10, 15 people.
Right.
right? You can even have dinner with some of your closest friends and just bring them to go say, you know what, let's do impromptu like events that have dinner. Let's come join us for dinner, at this restaurant at 8 p.m. or 6 p.m., whatever the time is.
Mhm.
But generally, like sometimes people like to get those invite,
Yeah.
right? But even though they may not able to make it, they are thinking of them. That is what the important thing is. That you want to, hey, you know what, let's get in touch. I haven't talked to you for a while. Are you available for dinner? This is coming up this Saturday, right? So yeah. So you can do like not all events have to be big. You
Yeah.
can do them all different size.
What's other than the pumpkin? Is the pumpkin the most popular one that you do?
Uh, Pumpkin is one of them. A roller skating one in the wintertime is pretty popular.
Roller
We
skating. That's
Yeah,
fun.
so we rollerblading, I guess you can call it, but there's roller skating. But we rent out this skating ring, and then we just have invite again all SOI and past client, and they could also bring a friend as well. That's one of the really really key ones. We do a event in May. As well for Mother's Day as well, which is really really fun event for all the moms. And when then we do one, we also do a good one for end of school year. That's we bring ice cream truck in end of school year. We do some fun stuff with the kids. And then in November, we like September we do some Popeyes, and then December we also do another Popeye for holiday, holiday gift for the year. We don't do a holiday party event in December because everyone's so busy with their own corporate events and own family events. So we do our client appreciation event in January. So everyone's kind of go through that, have the time and like have a minute to breathe, and then we have an event. So we let them know in advance and to making sure they have their sitter for that one. That's the one way to make sure they have sitters.
Yeah, and that's smart not doing it in December. We were doing one in December every year, and last year I said, "This is crazy. It's too much. It's too stressful." So we didn't do ours in December. So now I got to get one back on the calendar. But what do you do for the Mother's Day one?
The Mother's Day one, we actually do it that weekend. So we actually we order, gosh, gazillion roses, hydrangeas, lilies, and all the different things. And we have we have all our clients come and invite them, and we have like the vase ready. Because sometime, you know what, you'd be surprised. Sometimes they don't get flowers on Mother's Day,
Right.
right? So what we do is that we say, hey, come join us, create a bouquet. Or actually, we actually tell all the spouse or the kids, come join us. You can create amazing bouquet and give it to someone that you love. It doesn't have to be, it could be just someone that you love. It could be grandma or whoever, right? So we really created. We have this. We open the office. We have all this come through. It's a really fun event that we really really enjoy, and we've been doing it for the last 3 years, 4 years, and people look forward to it. We try to always come up with something new, if we can, and something if that works, we stick to it. So
Mhm.
we really really enjoy that, and all our clients and even the friends that come, we have to say that, listen, I really don't know you, but you know what? Look at what you do. If I'm gonna ever sell, I'm gonna make sure I call you. You know, so or buy a home. So that's where you want to be. Like you want to make it authentic to make it people like get to know you as a person.
Right. So you mentioned something that's really near and dear to my heart that we do quite a bit is drop-offs, or you call them Popeyes, either one.
Either ones, yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. What is it you're trying to get out of doing the drop-offs? Like, what is the goal?
Again, relationship. You building that like and trust,
Mhm,
right? That because sometimes, listen, people have busy lives, right?
mhm,
You may call them, you may text them, that you may not get respond back for them. You have to remember, like our job is to make sure stay in touch with them, right? They have a life, they have work, they have family, they have situation, they may have parents, so you never know where they are. So when you do those pop-bys, it's really to say, hey, I'm just checking in to see how you're doing and want to make sure that you're okay. Because in case you weren't able to get in touch with them like quarterly,
mhm,
and having those conversation. And again, you are not saying that you can have real estate conversation every time you do those pop by or drop off. It's really about coming from caring,
mhm.
coming from that perspective, and just making sure that I'm there for you whenever you need, whatever you need, I'm here for you.
Give us some examples of the drop-offs that you're doing. Like, what's the price range and what are some of the items?
Oh, okay. So September we do a Popeye that we actually do mums.
Mhm.
So we do it's a nice plan, and we actually drop off at the client's house for the fall, say happy fall, and to making sure that they enjoy the fall. And then we tend to talk to them, say, hey, what are you doing this fall? Is that, by the way, don't forget we have a pumpkin patch event coming up in October. We always
Mm,
kind of remind them the next event that we have. So say, oh yeah, I know, I can't wait to get there. I'm gonna make sure I always be early this time. Or they may say, oh, I can't make it this time. Say, no worry, we'll see you at the at a pie event, right? So like you create conversation that way, right? And
smart. You're tying them all together, so you're always prefacing the next one.
yeah, same thing. Yeah, yeah. So when we also when we make phone calls to invite clients, and if they make it great, awesome, we see them there, and then also we follow back up of a phone call. Say if people didn't make it, say I'm so sorry we missed you at a pumpkin patch event. That we have a next one coming up. I just want love to see you and catch up with you. How's everything going, by the way?
Mhm.
Right. So and if they come to the event and say, so I'm so glad you were able to make it to the pumpkin patch event. It's like I hope you had a great time. I love meeting you and your friend. And just like it's such a great, conversation. And just again, let me know if there's anything you need. We're here for you. By the way, our next event is blah blah blah. Hope to see you there. Right. So we always stay in touch with the core people because those are
Mhm.
people who like and trust you, right?
Right.
And December we go all out in December. And we provide different packet for different for our clients, and the price range goes from 25 to $50.
And how many of those are you doing? That's a
A lot. So we have job over sometimes 600, 650 sometimes. And sometimes we mail something. So
wow.
when we mail something, those are smaller items,
Okay.
right? So because we have to also think about the mailing costs at the same time.
Right.
But also when we do that, that's sometimes that's go up about the items itself, and then the mailing cost. It sometimes could go more than $10. So this coming year, we might think of something else to make sure the cost to keep the cost down as much as possible.
But would you agree that it's really not the item that they receive, it's not about what it costs, it's about just receiving the item and the thought.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. You can listen. You can do a $5, $10 item. So don't get me wrong, right? It just happened that we might do like do I have it here? We might do like a Lux Life signature with a water bottle, right? That and you don't have to do that. We have a candle that have Lux Life on it, right? So
Mhm.
like again, like you don't have to do all those items. You can just pick one and just drop up one thing and wrap it nicely and just say happy holiday, just thinking of you. That's all. Like they want to hear from you.
Yeah.
That's what's important. That you're there for them anytime, not just through the transaction, but you're there through the good times and bad times and challenging times, and that you can help them in everything that's possible.
Mhm.
And that's what you are. You want to build that client for life, really relationship there.
Yeah, and it's interesting how people, we're in such a fast-paced world, right? So
So fast.
when you take the time to do something small like that, especially if you drop it off in person, which, we don't, because we do it as well. They're not always home. We might have to leave it. But obviously, the goal is to try to actually speak to them. But even if we don't, I mean, we'll get text messages back like, thank you so much. Your touch points are so, on target, like they know that we care when we do little things like that.
Absolutely. It's again coming from caring. And the other thing is that, yeah, there's definitely time you're not able to get to everybody. You're not able to talk to everyone during Popeyes. So what I done recently now also is that if they're not home, I take a picture of the front door, drop off the
Yes.
gift, and say, by the way, we just stopped by your house and hope to see you. Happy holidays. 9 out of 10 times, I'll get return texts it's like, "Oh my god, so thank you so much thinking of us. Let's get together. It's like I miss seeing you. Let's do whatever." It's definitely like you building that like long-term relationship.
Yep. Yep, we do the same thing, and people they the response is always good. It's just
Yeah.
heartwarming to them to be thought of and to get a little surprise. We all love a little surprise, right?
Right, right. And also, by the way, if it's not in your budget, what you can do is that you can actually, I've done this before. Also, is that you can record like a 30-second video on your phone and happen to just say, hey, by the way, this is so and so. I'm just want to see how you're doing. Just hope you have a great, happy Valentine's Day, whatever.
Mhm.
Do that, send a text over. Again, you're thinking of them.
Right,
That is what's important, right? It doesn't have to be that you have to see them all the time, but as long as they know that you're thinking of them, you're there for them, and you are, again, going back to that relationship.
right.
That is really like, that's all different thing you can do. Like, think outside the box, like, certain things that you cannot do.
Simon, I'm assuming that you're talking about an individual video for each person, not one generic one. Like you're doing one that you're saying, "Hi Simon, this is Sandra. I wanted to just check in and say happy Valentine's Day."
Yes, please do individual ones. Yeah,
All
don't
right.
do a mass one. Yeah,
Just want to make
definitely. Yeah.
sure. You know
Yeah, it takes a little longer time, but definitely, because then you can also in that videos, you can also mention, hey, but I don't want to check in and say, last time we talked that you went to like Aruba, how was it? So let's catch up, right? Like, like every time you call someone, you want to make sure you write notes, and hopefully you have a CRM that you can actually write things down or put in a notebook that you remember everything. No, because people lie. They're like so surprised you remember things
Yeah.
sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, you remember that I went to Aruba last time? That was like 4 months ago. Yeah, so and we had a great time, and so on. Conversation keep going, and so on and so forth. So just definitely when you have conversation with all your people, everyone that you talk to, just making sure that you listen really well and write down, jot down all the information you can, and then make sure you put it into your CRM. And then next time when you have conversation, you have like also things to talk about too, not just making a call without any value. So you always want to make call to have some type of value to provide your, to your clients.
Yep, I totally agree. You know who's really good about that is Chuck Marquardt and John Barentine. You remember Chuck?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We met them together a long
Yes,
time
we
ago.
did.
Yes.
Now we're like best friends forever. Yeah, they're really good at that. They'll do the little video and send it out for the holidays. They'll do hundreds and hundreds of them, and people love them. And they speak so passionately when they do it. You feel like they're really talking to you. It's not just a, you know, blank recording.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You really want to make it personal, make it authentic, and just making sure that you are talking to the person that relate to them. They need to know that you really know them and having that relationship.
Yep. If anybody has any questions for Simon, feel free to put it in the chat and we'll get those answered. I wanted to go back to you seem like you have a really good process. When are you planning all of the events for the year? Like, do you do that in October or is it kind of ongoing throughout the year?
It's ongoing. We pretty much have it set schedule that we know when to do something. Once in a while that I might have a big idea, we might just kind of squeeze it in. But it's never last minute. It's always like 2 months in advance to making sure that making sure we can get enough people RSVP to have a nice event, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, but sometimes okay if you have like, if you do a coffee, like you can say, hey, let's meet at the coffee house, and only 3 people show up. Talk to those 3 people, get to know them more, and like that's your intimate time. Like just use that time. Like same thing when you have open house. Sometimes when you're not busy, it's special luxury homes that you may not have 20, 30 people walk through. That one person walk through the door, spend time with them.
Yeah.
Like ask all the questions, listen to their needs, and you never know what's gonna happen next, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Simon, I think I personally can take that to heart. I always feel bad if I create an event and then there's not a lot of people that come. Like I feel like the value in the event is the quantity of people, not always the quality of the conversation. So I'm going to try to remember that and not be so worried about how many people show up. But if there's one person who shows up and we have a great conversation, then it's worthwhile.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Having those intimate conversation is definitely quality than having, you're in pulling 20 different directions and not able to spend time with people that you like, right? and they dare to spend time with you. So you want to make sure you spend a little time with each one of them. So and make sure that you do that. And if someone comes to the event, don't like making sure you spend some time with each one of them separately.
Yep.
And your clients can understand that you need to kind of like walk through and go to different people. And that's why sometimes if they invite a friend there, they can actually talk to the friend, handle the friends as well. But a lot of time, because how a community is, people know a lot of different people. So when they come to the event, they have actually say, I know someone's gonna come to this event, so I can actually just catch up with them too.
Right.
So that's really a great thing about it. Yeah, absolutely.
And another thing to try to do is to connect people with similar interests, right? So, like, you know that Frank likes to play pickleball and Sally likes to play pickleball. So maybe putting them together and they can develop a friendship through that. It's a nice way to introduce people to each other.
It's so funny. Actually recently, I mean, in January we had an event, right? And then we get people to say, "Hey, we should go out and play paddle tennis," right? So four of them, like didn't like two of them didn't know each other. We got them together, say, "Let's go out and play." So they went out and played, and they had a great time. So like also like you dare to provide like any service provider. You might have like, "Hey, I need a CPA or
Yeah.
XYZ." Just make sure that you have that list in your head, or make sure you have it in your database, and just so you can say, sure, I can definitely recommend you one. Like, tomorrow when we done with the event, I'll send you a text. And make sure when you say you send something, send it at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the hard part is actually the follow through, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about sponsors for your event? I know you've mentioned that you do have sponsors. Who are you using and when are you reaching out to them for the event?
So we reach out to them pretty much early on. So we have, again, budget set for the year for us. And we know that what we need to ask for a different sponsorship. So mostly our sponsor is either from a lender, a title company, could be inspector, or attorneys that we work with.
Hmm.
So those are key ones that we do. So sometime there may be a new business come on board and they call us and they want to us to like refer them business. I'm like, oh, great. You know what? We have this event coming up. If you want to be, we would like to be sponsor. You can come on board. You can have a table and put stuff, about you and so on. So
Mhm.
it really depends on who we're talking to, because we've been in the community for a long time, for about 20 years. So people know we're in the business. So when
Mhm.
there's a business who's have anything that's, not just real estate related, it could be like a gym or something, because they see us on social, they will approach us and say, hey, by the way, I know you're a local expert in real estate in this area, and I just want to provide you my service and see how we can, help each other. And I was like, okay, sure, no problem. Let's have a conversation. And that's how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're open to other ideas, not just the specific ones that you use. If somebody wants to approach you and give them the opportunity and see if it's a good fit going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Yeah.
I like it.
But also at the same time, like a lot of time before I refer someone out, I try to actually do business with them first myself,
Mhm.
to have the first experience, to making sure when I referred someone else to a client, I say, by the way, this like trust attorney is amazing. I use them myself.
Right. That way you can vouch for them.
Yeah, because and then like if my clients all of a sudden have a bad experience, guess what? That person is no longer in my referral list.
Mhm. Yep, because they're part of your team. Even
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
they don't
Absolutely.
work on your team, but they're part of your team, so it's an extension of you, so they have to do a good job.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
For your coffee invitations, do you do personal invitations or do you post it in a group? Like, how are you facilitating the smaller events?
Personalized. Yeah. Smaller event, you want to personalize, you want to make it intimate. And if you just want to try to get five people together, if they know each other, great, awesome. If they don't, just making sure that, hey, by the way, I'm gonna have a couple other people there, so make sure it's okay with you. You know. And they may say, no, I just prefer one-on-one, then schedule a separate one-on-one coffee,
Hmm.
you know. Because you don't know someone who is someone could be introvert or extrovert, so you want to make sure you get to know them that way too. Don't assume that you can just invite them to like to have other people there, because you want to make sure they acknowledge it, that they can also be open to the idea, having other people having conversation.
Yeah, you want to make sure that they're comfortable in the
Yeah,
environment that you're bringing them to. That makes sense.
correct. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yep.
You're really caring and thinking about the experience that the person is going to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the luxury market, you are talking about from relationship to experience to lifestyle, right? You have to able to make sure all those line up to making sure that you're providing your white glove service at the same time, but also bring in your caring part that they know that you're not just in it to get the sale done. You really are doing it because you do care and you're able to provide the service and give them experience and also create this lifestyle that they want to have and they can remember that. And that's when you also get the referral business as well.
Hmm. Love it. Well, Simon, we are running out of time. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to just share how people can get in touch with you and the areas that you serve, because I'm sure you will get some referrals out of being here.
Sure. Yeah. So, my name is Simon Westfall-Kwong. I run the Luxside Real Estate Group. We're based in the Short Hill Summit, New Jersey. We do about 30 to 90 minutes from New York City. So, any commuter train, Midtown Directs, and anything that's with also with top rated school as well, and as well as out of town away from the city as people moving out. So, we do from all the way from Hoboken down to the Jersey Shore. We have different Asian partners who have special knowledge and also local expert in those area. So definitely you can refer us to help you. If something that we cannot do, provide you service, we'll never take on the referral. We always tell you, hey, we can help you to get the next person. This is a person who know the area because we want to make sure we do a good job for you. And we can be honest with you that we want to make sure that, hey, you know what? This is not the area we service. Here's the person that we can to match you up with right at the same time. That's really important. And you can reach me. My cell phone number, I'm going to give you my office lines, 973-489-8885. You can definitely call me at that number. And if you need to reach me on my email is simon@luxliferealestategroup.com.
Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Simon. This has been great. I've learned a lot, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure.
All right. Take care, Simon. Bye,
All
everyone.
right. Sounds good. Bye.
Thank you for joining us for Mastering Luxury with Sandra. Make sure to subscribe and follow us so that you never miss a moment of the inside look at luxury real estate.